The purpose is extremely important. I was watching a few videos. Jordan Peterson was talking about this as biologically speaking, that if a man doesn't know what he's want to do, doesn't really taking out that load of responsibility, he's going to feel like his life is meaningless. And this is why, and the reasons why we have an opioid epidemics of middle-aged white men or people in the middle class in general, man. Like, they have these good jobs and next they're not working there anymore and for whatever reason, and they use that fuel of depression or uncertainty to drugs, to alcohol, to things that's very self-destructive to the body internally. And as a woman, women, their biologically and chemically supposed to rebel when they hit adolescent age to 17, 18 years old, when they, you thinking like, why they out here having intercourse with other men for no reason and not thinking about the long-term consequences. Because when you're in that age, you're curious, and your hormones are racing. You want to reproduce. So for the most part, you're going to be with someone that you can procreate that's sexually attracted to you. And then as women, they can have anything for the most part. They don't really have to biologically work hard. I mean, you can be an average looking woman. As long as you look okay, you have a little ounce of ambition, things can really go good for you. So they have that touch. Now, as men, you gotta have that purpose, and a lot of us don't really. A lot of men, for the most part, when they at the age, they don't want to take that full responsibility if a child comes into the world, and therefore they trying to find themselves, and maybe they work a little rinky-dinky job, things that's not going good for them. They feel like this has no meaning, there's no purpose, and then they have all this problems and things that have to occur. They have to be with their wife emotionally or the baby mother emotionally. They gotta be with their child emotionally. They gotta instruct discipline. They gotta come up with new ways if they don't have any type of guidance. And that's like, the Lord, the Bible, having a good father figure is the roadmap to success of your internal, your spiritual life, and your well-being. And some men lack that. I know in the urban communities is that you want to look up to success. We're driven to success. I mean, you could have in your wallpaper, you have people like Kobe Bryant. You have, I won't say Scarface, but that's a bad example. Like Denzel Washington or Martin Luther King, or just people in general that you looked up to, that they had great works and they led a legacy. You want to implement that. You want to follow in their footsteps and have their shoes in their place. So at the same time, you're going to do whatever it takes in this world to implement that so you can have that in your life, and that proves you to be a man. You got people that why they join gangs because of lack of father figures. I mean, it's many things that constitute from a lack of purpose for a young man. And the thing is, though, you're vulnerable to a lot of things, man. Things that sometimes they can be self-destructive, and you want to make a chance. You want to make a legacy, an impact, and all that pressure that you have in the world. That if you don't do anything worthwhile, what is the point of you doing being here? And you got people who smoke crack and do all these things. It's because they want to escape from reality. They want to escape from the present moment that they're in. In this world, we're going to have struggles. The Lord says it's going to be hard. If the world hates you, they know that they hated me before they hated you. And so this is pretty much predetermined. But the thing is, what really keeps us internally happy is through our love for other people. Jesus Christ found out 12 disciples, people that he didn't raise, that he didn't know, but he seen good character in them. And he said, I want you to fulfill me and help me with my ministry. And he really didn't need them, but he wanted to be very impactful because Peter and other people that can influence like Paul, Barnabas, that can spread the gospel. He was thinking long term. And that's why I got from actually reading the book of Matthew and just growing up as a Christian. Because I was always wondering why, he had thousands of people want to follow him, but he specifically picked 12. And he wanted those people to work with him. He wanted those people to actually understand him, expelling demonic spirits, him healing the sick, picking up the dude that wanted to walk, that was paralyzed and lame for 30 years, encourage individuals, man, rebuke the Pharisees and people that want to buy the Holy Spirit. I mean, that was his impact, and something that changed the whole world in the course of religion, man. And I think that's extremely important as a young man. We gotta have that responsibility. If we're not on that tip in this world to whatever career that we have, it's not going to be meaningful. And this is why I don't want to say, like, on Mondays you got people who technically have heart attacks because of their jobs, and 73% of Americans hate their jobs. And as men, you get up in the morning and you're like, man, what, why am I here? Like, I'm just existing. And so you coast into drugs, you coast into, just alcohol poisoning, abuse, or you come home, beat your woman because you're mad, you're angry. And don't get me wrong, some men, I'm not justifying their behavior, they need to take responsibility, they need some psychological help. But I'm trying to think of the deep root of the problem is from the lack of purpose. It's like, what am I doing here? You got people who can make six figures, but why would you devote your life to something that you hate just so you can temporarily exist? And I think that's what a lot of stress comes in. I was watching BoJack Horseman. I'm still watching this show. And shout out to my boy Mike. He put me on that show. It's on Netflix, man. And one of the seasons, almost season two, last episodes, it was just stating that he wanted love. He was a big time actor back in the day in the '90s, man. Cause Horsing Around, he was really good, but he fell off 11 years later, and he's slowly trying to get his life back on track with the right people. He had to write a book about his life, get some type of revenue, people to take him serious, so he can get into other movie roles and continuously be successful. But he had all this money, he had all this success, and the show for the most part talks about how he was emotionally abused to his mother, verbally abused from his mother, physically abused to his father. But at the same time, he always wanted to be successful, and he used to look up to celebrities in the camera. That was some horse that was a good tennis player during the '60s and the '70s, and he was writing him a letter. I mean, he wanted to be successful, and there was one scene his mother punished him from smoking a cigarette, but actually was he was smoking a cigarette, but his mother's like, "Why are you doing this?" He was like, "No, I'm doing this. Are you doing?" He was like, "I hate you because you alive," something like that. It was something crazy, and he started crying. And as he got older, he just being promiscuous. He doesn't have a family, and he's like, "Man, I have all this money in the world, but I'm still lacking something." He's lacking love. He's lacking a family bond. And he loved this deer. He loved this particular character that he wanted to, make a lot of money with or just be with. And he understood that, listen, like, money doesn't really give me happiness or fame or these projects anymore. It's that I want to have a normal life. I want to have a normal life where I can have a wife, I can come home to raise my children and give them life principles, and that's what he was lacking. And even though he took in Todd, and Todd, you will watch the show if you know what I'm talking about, but Todd was a young man that lived with him. He's 24 years old, came out of college and around the area, and he needed some help, he needed some guidance, and he helped some people along the way. But the whole point is that, at the end of the day, just watching that TV show, BoJack was lacking love, and love and the sense of purpose is extremely important. And the things that he was doing, making poor choices in his life, is because he was trying to eliminate the bad issues and struggles that he had to deal with coming up as a child. And I think there's a lot of young men that's dealing with that on a day-to-day basis, man, that we're really taking him for granted. Because it's easy for us to point the finger that, why is this young man not doing what he's supposed to do? Why is he acting like this? Why is he acting impulsive? It's a deeper root. But I think it all stirs up from the purpose. And it doesn't even have to be making a lot of money. And now, as a young man, as I understand, is that too. I was thinking about that. Is that, we was told to, just work for these corporations, do work for their whole entire life. But scientifically speaking, as human beings, we want to be accepted. We want to do something that's worthwhile, regardless if it makes us a lot of money. That's a plus if it does. But at the end of the day, it's not everything. Sometimes we were wired to do that based on the television. But, purpose is important, and we have to take full responsibility. We only got one life to crack at this, man, on this three-dimensional plane. And I think the best way to live it through is, finding it out what makes you excited to get up in the morning. And just utilize that and spread it all over the world to the next people, to the next generation. So your kids or your grandkids can look up to you like, oh, wow, since my grandfather did this, I'm going to continue to do that. Like, I think that's the best way to live. And we understand the world's always going to potentially have struggles no matter how advanced technology is. But that's pretty much what I was thinking this morning. Like, comment, subscribe. But this is important, man. Just find that purpose, whatever it is. It can be through drawing, it can be art, it can be through chess, physics. anything, something that's worthwhile. But it's your boy Young Lee Jr. Continue to like, comment, subscribe. Control yourself and your emotions, man. Understand that the problems are always going to still occur, but you have the choice to emotionally prepare for them. That's all I got to say. I'm out.